This is the regular meeting of the Mobile City Council, Tuesday, September 18th. Please stand for our invocation, led by Reverend Rudolph Overstreet, pastor Ebenezer Baptist Church, and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Good morning. Shall we pray? Our gracious Heavenly Father, we just want to begin by saying thank you for being so good and kind to all of us. But Lord, I ask you now to be with our council members, be with the city of Mobile. Lead them and direct them, Heavenly Father, the way that we should go. Bless us and keep your 11 arms around us. In Jesus' name we do pray, amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd ask if we would, that we would observe a moment of silence in the memory of Mr. Ross Pritchard. Mr. Pritchard died unexpectedly, lived nearly 70 decades, was an active participant, advocate, and worker in the Oakley Garden District. And he has, I believe, a daughter and a son, a wife to celebrate his memory. He just really was impactful in the Oakley community, and they requested that we would observe a moment of silence, and I certainly would ask that we would do that at this time. Thank you.
Deidre, the mic. Roll call. Vice President Manzi.
Here.
Councilmember Richardson.
Here.
Councilmember Smalls.
Here.
Councilmember Williams. Councilmember Daves.
Here.
Councilmember Rich.
Here.
Councilmember Gregory.
Here.
Statement of rules.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
We're happy to have each and all of you here. The rules of the council are quite simple. We ask first that you would turn off or silence all of your electronic devices upon entering the meeting. Any person who'd like to address the council on non-agenda item is asked to contact the clerk's office on the Thursday preceding the Tuesday that you'd like to speak. We'd ask that if you're here to speak on a resolution, an ordinance, appeal, a public hearing, agenda item, we ask that you would have already signed in before coming in so that you might be recognized. Each speaker is allowed 5 minutes to address the council. A bell will sound to indicate the end of 4 minutes. 1 minute remains for summarizing. The second bell indicates that your time has expired. When addressing the council, there should be no personal address to any one individual council member. We ask that all questions, statements be made to me, the chair, who will subsequently recognize any council member who, or member of the administration who wishes to respond. To maintain decorum, there will be no undue applause and or public outcry allowed. These are the rules of the council. Thank you for coming today, your interest in your local government. Madam City Clerk.
Approval of minutes of September 11th.
So moved. Second.
Properly moved and second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved.
Communications from the mayor.
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
It's good to see everybody this morning. The first item would be to recognize our Officer of the Month, and so I would ask Officer Daniel Marlin to please approach the podium and face the council, and I'll read the certificate of recognition. It says, Officer Daniel Martin has rendered a service to the City of Mobile which deserves special recognition. On August 23rd, 2018, at approximately 10:15, Officer Marlin conducted a traffic stop on a silver Toyota Corolla with no tag displayed at the intersection of Halls Mill Road and Holcomb Avenue. The driver told Officer Marlin that he did not have any identification on him. After discovering an expired Washington County registered sex offender's ID card in the subject's wallet, Officer Marlin discovered the name of the subject that he had initially given him was false. Officer Marlin spoke with personnel at Washington County Sheriff Office, and they advised him that the subject had not registered as a sex offender since 2016. The subject also had a warrant for theft of property in the first degree and burglary in the third degree out of the Mobile County Sheriff's Office. The vehicle the subject was driving was stolen out of Mobile in May of 2018. The vehicle was impounded and the subject was transported to Metro Jail. The subject is charged with theft of property in the first degree, failure to register as a sex offender, and on a warrant for burglary in the third degree. In total last month, Officer Marlin answered 100 calls for service and served as a backing unit on 24 calls. Officer Marlin had 16 felony arrests and 126 misdemeanor arrests and wrote 3 traffic citations during the month of August. His initiative, enthusiasm, and excellence in the overall performance show a proactive police style that is a tremendous asset to the city of Mobile. Now, therefore, on behalf of all the citizens, we are pleased to award the certificate of recognition to him as Officer of the Month for August 2018 with our sincerest thanks. Congratulations.
Mr. Vice President.
Just a couple of brief moments of having...
Mr. Mayor, if you
Yes.
would mind, I
Yeah.
would just like to commend Officer Marlin, especially for working down there at that particular location, Holcomb and Halls Mill, and I'm sure Councilman Small joins me in this. There's that area is, I would say, at least as far as District 5 goes, the area where I have the most problems. It's an open sore down there, and I appreciate what you're doing to help fix it and what the entire Mobile Police Department is doing to help fix it. Thank you very much.
In the few minutes I had spent with Officer Marlin, I was asking him if he liked his job, and he said, "I love it." You know, it's great to have anybody tell you that they really love the job, but to see it, he meant it, because you could see it through every pore in his body. So thank you, officer, for what you do. God bless you. Thank you.
We love you too.
Yeah. Figures Park, this past weekend, we were very fortunate to kind of have the ribbon cutting or the hanging of the new basketball net on the basketball court that DeMarcus Cousins funded and created, had the vision to build an amazing facility. It's the largest basketball court that we have in City of Mobile. It's what they call a Rucker-style basketball court, completely fenced in. Has seating capacity for 250 people inside the fence. It's just a magnificent facility, and it all started because of DeMarcus came to see us and said, "I would like to give something back to my community where I grew up." And so over a period of about 2.5 years, we finally worked out the arrangements to where he contributed $250,000 for the construction of that. The city did the engineering, and we coordinated the construction of the court. Huge boost in the arm for Figures Park. To see the outpouring of interest this past weekend at the Boogie's block party was also very gratifying. I think that in the future we will continue to have this relationship with DeMarcus, but hopefully what this does is open the doorway for our other professional athletes to show them that there is a pathway for them to invest back in the community where they grew up, and we can partner with them so that if they're interested in helping the communities that help them get to where they are, that we'll make sure that that works out. And so it's a win-win situation. Anyway, great to see him. He's still being rehabilitated for having hurt his Achilles tendon, but anyway, great things are in the future for him. Last week, I don't know what the temperature was when we got on the Wild Native downtown boat tour on the new floating dock at the in Cripple Riverside Park, but the heat index had to be 105. It was amazingly hot, but it was also so gratifying to be able to get on a boat on the new floating dock, a boat that in the future will be conducting tours in the port, or it can conduct tours into the Delta. This is a first for us to have that kind of commercial access on the waterfront on Cripple Riverside Park. We're hoping that future aspiring entrepreneurs will also figure out how to use that dock. It's not a dock where you would tie up and leave your boat, but it's going to be more for commercial use, for small commercial vessels, and we'll see how this works to see if it's not the first step in a process of maybe doing something bigger and more significant. But for anybody that has not taken a Delta tour or port tour, our suggestion is that starting October 12th, go get a ride, go get on the boat and see what it's all about, and take your friends and family. It'd probably be a great place to have a birthday party or some kind of celebration. Next is the at Cripple Riverside Park, in an effort to create activity or drive people to use the waterfront. We're having what we're calling pop-up events, pop-up Riverside, and the next one is from 2 to 5 p.m. And see, it's on, next one is September 30th. So we would encourage you to go down. It's a family-friendly, free event. So go down to Riverside Park and see what's going on. My last comment would have to do with the big weekend for Southern University playing Southern University playing Alabama A&M in the Gulf Coast Challenge. It's at 4 o'clock on Saturday. There's still tickets available, and we hope for those of you that don't have a ticket will buy one, and that you will support your team or support the challenge. So look forward to everybody being out there this Saturday. Thank you very much. Oh, yep, that's it. Thank you.
Yeah. Mr. Councilman Richardson has a proclamation.
Morning.
Morning.
All right. Say first of all that September is Prostate Cancer Month, and I am a 10-year prostate cancer survivor. So I will read a proclamation, and then I'm going to have two visitors with us from the USA Mitchell Cancer Institute, Ms. Dr. Seema Singh, and the Assistant Director, Carol McPhail. I would like to start off by sharing my experience and hopefully someone out there can benefit from my experience. I went to the doctor about 10 years ago for my annual checkup. And as a result of going to see him, he detected that my PSA level was at 7. And he said anything over 3 is suspicious. You're way over 3. He said 3 things could be happening. You could have an enlarged prostate. You can have some sort of infection in the prostate area, or something is growing, a tumor. He said, I'm not equipped to find out, to go any further with that. He recommended that I go see a urologist. The urologist conducted extensive tests, and he found out that I had a series of tumors in the prostate area. They all were cancerous. And I asked him how much time did I have to make a decision. He said the prostate cancer grows slow. In less than a month, you ought to decide what you want to do. This particular physician was willing to perform surgery with his knife. I said no until I can investigate. So in reading and talking with other people, Councilman Maven Hicks had already gone through this. I decided that I would use laparoscopic surgery to remove the prostate gland. It was non-invasive, no loss of blood. I went in, they performed the surgery. I was discharged the next day. 2 weeks later, I was on a trade mission outside of the United States. I have not stopped going since. I had my checkup last week, no trace of cancer. I'm telling the men out there, don't wait. It's pain-free. They bore 2 little holes in here. Go in and do what they need to do. Send you home and you keep rolling. If you stay home, it's gonna go outside, it's gonna spread outside of your prostate gland area, and it's gonna go all over your body, and there will be nothing they can do. But it's something you can do now. Go see your doctor, have your PSA, let him test your PSA. If it's high, there's no fear. Go be checked, do something about it. And I consider myself blessed among 10,000 that it had not spread, it had not metastasized. Once it metastasized, it can enter any area of your body, and the doctors would have a hard time trying to control it. Act now before it's too late. I'd like to read a proclamation. It says, whereas prostate cancer is the #1 form of cancer diagnosed among men and the 2nd leading cause of cancer-related deaths among men in the United States. And whereas this year approximately 165,000 men will be diagnosed with this disease. And whereas incredible advancements have paved the way for better prevention, detection, and treatment of this disease, and over the past 2 decades, the incidence of new cases of mortality rate for prostate cancer have been steadily declining. Whereas 2 tests critical for detecting men at a high risk for prostate cancer and other prostate diseases are the digital rectal exam, DRE, and the prostate-specific antigen test, PSA. To draw the blood, send it off to the lab would give you a PSA rating. Whereas that designating a month for this issue increased public awareness, education, and advocate for further research that will help save lives, so that our commitment to our fathers, brothers, and sons can contribute to a brighter tomorrow for future generations. Now, therefore, I, Frederick D. Richardson, Jr., Council Member, District 1, along with the Mayor and members of the City Council, do hereby proclaim this month, September the 18th, as Prostate Cancer Awareness Month in Mobile. And we all urge all our citizens to join us in activities that would increase awareness of the importance of screening and prevention of prostate cancer. At this time, I'm going to ask Dr. Singh to come and Ms. McPhail. They're from the Michigan Cancer Institute, and they're going to share more information on this. Glad to have y'all.
Thank you.
Just say what you want to say. Enlighten us and encourage us.
Okay. Thank you, Councilman Richardson, for sharing your story and such an important thing to raise awareness about prostate cancer awareness. As he said, September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, signified by the color light blue. And my name is Carol McPhail. I'm from USA Mitchell Cancer Institute. In 2017, in Alabama, there were about 2,400 new cases of prostate cancer and approximately 450 deaths. So here with me is Dr. Seema Singh, who's one of our basic scientists, our cancer researchers at MCI. She's an associate professor of oncologic sciences, and she's going to tell you a little bit more about prostate cancer. And I'm going to have some leave-behinds here and also outside about screening, cancer screening, so please feel free to take one.
Thank you, Carol. I feel honored and appreciate to address the council, the mayor, and the staff. Thank you for inviting me here again. I've been here in 2016, and he's a great example to create an awareness. So thank you for calling me for creating an awareness for the September month. And just to give you a very brief update, although he has told everything about it, there are 5 things you have to remember. 1 in 7 men in his lifetime will get diagnosed with this disease. It's a second leading cause of cancer-related death in men. Older men get prostate cancer above 60, and race matters. If you're African American, you should talk to your doctor in your 50s. If you have a family history and African American, you should be talking to your doctor in 40s. And specifically the African American men, they have 60% more likely to get diagnosed with this disease, and 250 times more likely they die from this disease. So get aware, talk to your doctors. There's a PSA test available, which is not a very good marker, but something is better than nothing. If you are diagnosed early, it's curable. The great example is standing here. And at MCI, we do a cutting-edge cancer research. We treat patients. So if you have not been there, please do visit us. If you have any concern, talk to us, reach us, and get aware. So the take-home message for all the men here, be aware, and for the women too, talk to your men. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let me close out by saying USA can perform the same operation that I chose. If the doctor prescribed, if the doctor determined that you do have prostate cancer, USA is capable, the Mitchell Center, they're capable of handling any form of prostate cancer. Do something, don't wait.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming.
Mr. Chairman,
Mrs. Gregory?
well, unfortunately, I think they left. We had students here from Spring Hill College, and I think they left. They were observing today. They met with the mayor. I rode down on the elevator with them, and they were here to observe the meeting. And I told them that they may want to come back when the budget is on the agenda so that they can observe and hopefully report on a meeting that will be a little bit more lively.
I guarantee you it will.
So then they must have taken me up on that.
Adoption of the agenda.
Second.
Probably moved to second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Agenda's adopted.
Appeals, we have a request for a waiver of the noise ordinance on November 16th on Bishop State Community College campus, Central Campus rear parking lot.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved to second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Public hearings today is the public hearing to determine if the structures at 2063 Kentwood Lane, 1214 Satchel Street, 513 Euchers Street are public nuisances and ordering them demolished.
Is there anyone here that would like to offer any commentary on the said houses by our city clerk? If not, the public hearing is closed.
Today is a public hearing to consider approval of the application of Wanda E. House doing business as And You Ride, and you need a ride, we ride, for a certificate of public convenience and necessity to operate a taxi cab service.
Anyone here that'd like to speak to this particular public hearing? Yes, ma'am.
My name's Wanda E. House. I just
If you
wanted to
could
introduce
state your
myself.
name and address, please.
My name's Wanda E. House, 9511 Hodge Nursery Road, Irvington, Alabama. I just wanted to introduce myself in regards to the business license and let you know I'm honored to be here at the meeting. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The public hearing is closed.
Presentation of petitions and other communications to the council. Harriet Eli.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Harriet Eli. I live at 2000 Diggs Avenue, Mobile, Alabama. And I came because I wanted to just let you know that we have a lot of negative news in our communities nowadays. But I wanted to let you know that I am a part of Good News Club.
All right.
And I came with good news. Child Evangelism Fellowship of Southwest Alabama has a mission to help children develop a committed walk with Jesus Christ, improve attitudes and behavior, offer a moral foundation in order to combat drugs, violence, and other harmful influences, to provide hope for our children through our Good News Clubs, wherein we teach Christian principles through Bible stories, games, songs, and fun activities in our elementary schools and outreach ministries. We were not in the schools. We do go into the community to Boys and Girls Clubs, recreation centers, daycares, wherever we can go, apartment complexes. We are trying to tell the children that they do have purpose, and we believe that they deserve an option to know that they can live this way or that way. They can do good and get good rewards. They can do bad and the rewards are not so good. So what I came for is to let you know that we will be having an activity, which is a fundraiser, which is our annual banquet for Child Evangelism Fellowship in Southwest Alabama, will be held at Cottage Hill Baptist Church on next Monday at 6:30. I've left invitations for each of you so that you can come out and hear more about our ministry. Ms. Gregory actually spoke at one of our teas not long ago, well, a couple of years ago, I think it was. But we want you to know that we're out there helping to try to fight against what we have going on in the community. And if there's any way that you can come and help us, we'd be happy to do that. We're in several schools in each one of your areas, and we may be asking you to come in and maybe just give a word to the children. So we just wanted to leave that door open for you, and thank you for listening to me today.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
And thank you for all that you all do in our schools and in our community. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Eddie Irby.
Eddie Irby, 1116 Richard Road, 36618. Ladies and gentlemen, Mobile City Council, there's an envelope in front of you with your name on it. It's self-explanatory. That is an actual copy of the state recognition of the Oak Lawn Cemetery, which has been designated by the Alabama Historic Commission as a historic site. And I'd like to let you know that we have completed in 8 months what some people could not complete in 30 years. Also, you can read that, but I've got 2 dates I'd like for you to remember, and you're welcome to take part. On October the 8th, the 92nd Division, led by the Patriot Guard Riders and Sheriff's Deputies, we will have a program at Oakland Cemetery at 9 a.m. that morning to do what we call Take a Soldier to the Park. We now have after 15 months of fighting, the land company now has gotten us a deed to our property there in Pritchard. They had to go through about 20 different owners, but we've got the deed in our hands now and it's in probate. So it's ours. So on October the 8th at 10 o'clock, we are going to, on a 25-foot flagpole, raise the American flag and the POW/MIA flag. But before we get there, we're going to ask a certain amount of people to come to the cemetery there, where we will give you a flag such as this that goes inside when you're at the cemetery for Veterans Day. However, that person would take that flag, put it beside a soldier's flag that's already there, take that one out, attach a card to it with that soldier's name, date of birth, what war he fought in, and the date he was either killed in action or the day that he died. Once we get back in the cars and get in a motorcade led by the Patriot Guard riders, we would go to Pritchard, and there's a certain area that they would be standing in. They would place that flag to their right. They would stand to the left. So in other words, they'll be standing in for those soldiers who could no longer stand for themselves. And we would raise the American flag, we would play the national anthem, and a couple other things. 6 of the men we want to really recognize that day would be Henry C. Williams of Plateau, Purple Heart veteran, 92nd Division, James Burke, Korean veteran, also up to 92nd, the only all-Ranger unit in Korea. John Davis, who we just buried last year, the first black MP decorated by George Patton. Douglas Diamond. Booker T. Green, the gentleman that was killed by thugs up there on Patton Avenue some time ago. He was George Patton's go-to man, which was one of the reasons why George Patton could get to anywhere he wanted to go, because Mr. Green was the one in charge of logistics. And my uncle, Liddell Perry, who they called the tank killer. This was one of the few men that went up against some German Panzers tanks, and he knew how to get behind them, get underneath them, explode them. When they get out, then he killed everybody in the tank. On October the 12th, we'll give you the location there. One of our gentlemen, Mr. Taylor Howard, would be 100 years old. We're trying to find a place where he can be thing. We've got 2 churches we've asked to do that. That would be a 6 o'clock program, and you all will be invited. We'll keep you informed of that. But right now, we just wanted to let you know the cemetery is under control. Also, there was a gentleman came up to us and approached us after the Coast Guard left there Saturday from that cleanup, and he told us about a gentleman that's buried in the back of the cemetery that we have not been yet. The gentleman's name is Doug Bailey. He was a Tuskegee Airman. He was one of the few men that landed his P-51 plane at Brooklyn Field out there some time ago, during that time. He was from Birmingham, but his home was in Pritchard. And the last of all these, when the Coast Guard was out there, right before they left, they uncovered a place where we had a heck of a time getting in because we just didn't have the equipment to get in there. So when they went in there, we found that there are 6 soldiers in there with the Star of David. 2 of them are World War I, and the other 4 are World War II. But we're going to name that. And on the back of that second sheet there are 5 names in there that we have renamed the streets after Captain Leon Roberts, after Dr. Yvonne Kennedy, Eugene Fortune, and we also have a gentleman back there, a World War II guy by the name of Willie Nelson. We've named that Willie Nelson's Loop. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Irby, I just want to thank you again for all that you're doing for the cemetery. Without you and your group getting this started, I don't think we would have seen this kind of work and this kind of progress, and also the fact that you've been able to get so many in the community involved with you. I've seen several news stories from Fox 10, and you've gotten them to come out and do days of work out there, so that's terrific. Maybe Fox 10 needs to challenge some of these other TV stations to get them out there on those riding lawnmowers and fixing up, you know, the area. So I see Steve up there, so Steve, pass that word along to your folks that y'all want to challenge all the other TV stations and maybe AL.com and Lanyap. I mean, come on, why not? Get out there and do a day of caring or 2, you know, to help out this group, and they are doing such great work. So thank you, Mr. Irby, appreciate it.
And I want to also thank Mr. Irby. Mr. Irby and I have been talking about this cemetery since I took office, and he has shown a real passion to seeing something dramatically different happen at Oak Lawn Cemetery, and it's happening. And I noticed at the end of his card it referenced a slogan, deeds, not words. A lot of people have talked about Oak Lawn Cemetery. And a lot of people have tried to put the burden of Oak Lawn Cemetery around the neck of the city. And with it being privately owned, each family member owns each individual plot. And so it was up to the family members to keep their their deceased family members' plot in order. And we know how it happens. They bury grandma, they bury granddad, they move to Chicago, they move to Detroit, they die off, they're not able to keep it up. So I salute Mr. Eddie Irby Jr. because a lot of people have talked about it, tried to blame the city, want the city to do this, the city to do that. Mr. Irby has gone on, taking it as a personal mission, and I'm going to work with him to get some sidewalks along Holt Road and all those other areas that he's identified. I want you to know I'm with you 100%. Keep it going, Mr. Irby. Now, there's another group. They do a lot of meeting, but I hadn't seen much work. They do a lot of meeting up there at True Vine Church. And they bring mayors and all these other people in to talk. Mr. Irby's about to work. And I salute you, Mr. Irby. Let's give him a big round of applause.
I have a question of Mr. Irby because I'm intrigued about the soldiers that you found and uncovered in an area of the cemetery that you so dearly love. Both the synagogue and the temple in town are well into their hundreds years of being organized. If you'd like, if you'll send me the names of those individuals, I'll make sure that both entities get their name and find out if we can find family in town that might be interested in helping to preserve those sites.
That's very important. We didn't know. We just figured it was just soldiers back there.
Come on to the mic, Mr. Irby, so we can hear what you're saying.
You know, the Coast Guard, and they got one gunny sergeant from Pensacola that drives his truck and his tractor over here, and he went into places where, even though we are armed while we go in there, he has a tractor and some other equipment on that truck that would take out a battleship. But he went in and found some things, and it has become really, really important because when you figure these guys that's buried in that cemetery, like Captain Leon Roberts, he was not my age. He was only 23 years old when his plane was hit in 1943. And the others out there, there are guys out there 18, 19. Mr. John David was 14 years old when he joined the Rough Riders. But they came back, they married their childhood sweetheart, they became pillars of the community. And it was just a shame and an embarrassment to me to go into a place where the weeds are 15 feet tall and people, like you said, Vice President Manager, everybody's been having meetings about it, but nobody wanted to get out there and, you know.
Work.
Yes, exactly.
Work.
Yeah. You know, our motto is deeds, not words. You know, words is for some people who want to sit up in an easy chair. Even Channel 10, those guys that first came out there, that was not the guys like Steve and all those guys came out there. That was the guys who sit in the air-conditioned office that came out there and cleaned that area off.
Steve, direct challenge to you.
That's right.
We want to see all the reporters out there.
And to the citizens of Mobile, you know you have family members buried in Oak Lawn. Right. Come on. To the citizens of the city of Mobile, many of y'all sitting in your homes, you know grandma's out there, granddad's out there, Aunt Mary, Aunt Sue. You know you have family members buried in Oak Lawn. Come out and do your part. It's your property. We can't put all this on Mr. Eddie Irby and the 92nd Infantry Division. You know you have family members out there, your great-great-grandparents out there. Come on and do your part to bring this cemetery back to park.
Yeah, I'm on my way now. I have to meet some people at the cemetery at 11:30. These people are from Houston, Texas, who brought their mother here to be buried there at the cemetery because the plow was already paid for. But right now at 11:30, I'm going to meet some people from Houston, Wisconsin, Arizona, and Missouri that found out what we were doing, that have relatives there, and all they want to do is see what they can do to clean it. If they can't clean it up, they're willing to pay somebody to have it cleaned up. But the veteran, we won't take any money for cleaning it up. You know, we don't want to make any money off of soldiers' demise or this sort of thing. So we be looking for a landscape artist that's a veteran, and once we start having the money coming in, we'll pay that veteran with that licensed and bonded, insured landscaping business to take care of that cemetery.
Yeah, and come up with perpetual
Yes.
care agreements
Right.
with people who want to take that on.
Right.
Mr. Vice President, I also would like to commend Mr. Irby. It's this kind of civic activism that we need to see all over this city, because not all the time, but sometimes, if people would just get off their rear ends and go out there and do something, they sit there, they complain, they want someone else to do it. They want the city to come fix this problem or Mr. Irby to come fix this problem. They spend more time trying to find someone else to fix the problem than if they got up off their rear ends and went out there and fixed it themselves. So I commend you, Mr. Irby.
Thank you all.
Vice President Manzi.
Mr. Small.
Mr. Irby, I also like to commend you for your leadership that you're demonstrating, for the city of Mobile. Again, thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes. Miss Marion Steinfeld, I would like for you to, hold on, Mr. Irby. I would like for you to research and find an award that's given here locally amongst any of our military groups that we could nominate Mr. Eddie Irby Jr. for. I believe he's deserving of it. I don't know exactly what the award would be, but I believe that I want you to research it and find it, and bring it back to us so that we can nominate Mr. Eddie Irby Jr. He is deserving of some special attention from this community as it relates to Oaklawn Cemetery. You keep fighting, champ. Keep fighting. Thank you.
Reverend Dr. Rudolph Overstreet.
First of all, once again, I'd like to say good morning.
Good morning.
I live at 2125 Garman Lane. This is where the organization that I was able to establish in the month of May and received the 501c3 for it. It's called the Blessing Angel Gifting Tree. It's a nonprofit organization where we reach out into the community and touch lives. Let individuals know that someone loved them. Our motto is, love thy neighbor. And what we're trying to do, we will do by the grace of God. We will make miracles happen by blessing them with gifts and let them know that you will always be loved. I've also seen some barbers, some beauty salons that will give individuals haircuts. Not only that, fix their hair. Not only that, we have been granted a building to use by Mr. Chuck McKay, who's head of Gulf Coast Bees. Our event will take place on December the 15th, where we're looking to grant wishes to 200 or at least 250 children in Mobile and throughout Mobile County. We're doing all of this through grant and donations. I'm here this morning to ask you, would you consider, I don't know when the end of your fiscal year end or began, but you would think about the Blessed Angel Gifting Tree. Now, how do I come by that name? Well, I thought about how good God has blessed me.
That's right.
And others. And then I thought about Jesus. The angels came and told Mary, you're going to have a gift. And that gift was Jesus Christ. And then there's an old rugged tree where all this took place in our life. And the Lord blessed me with this name, the Blessed Angel Gifting Tree. And I talked to a young boy the other day, and his hair was not combed. And I say, you need to comb your hair. He said, I don't have a comb. I said, tell you what, you have a comb tomorrow. I went and got him a comb. And not only that, Councilman William had also agreed to help us on that day of distribution. We're nonprofit. We don't make anything. We give everything away. And if you need help, we'll do it for you. I was in my office Friday when a pastor called me and said, can I come and see you? I said, okay, come over. He came and said, Pastor, I have 300 boys that I need help in. 300. But there's Afro-American boys now. Can you imagine 300 guys that need some kind of assistance. Not only that, if we can touch their lives at this age, it'll make a difference in Mobile, in Mobile County. You can believe that. And so I'm not too busy that I cannot reach out and reach down and let you know, regardless of your circumstances, someone care. If you can't find someone, just look at me. I care for you. And I'll find someone else that care also for you. And I just want to take this time to come before you. I usually come and pray, but this time I came with a mission. Amen. And I hope you all will consider that that we will do one thing, not only to help you, but we will help the entire city and county of Mobile, because someone needs to let people know that there's a better way. There's hope, and you are not forgotten. And this is what this organization will let you know, you're not forgotten. May God bless all of you. Thank you very much.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Williams?
You know, every once in a while, as I know my colleagues are, we get asked for money. I think the mayor and his administration can understand. Every once in a while, we get asked for something. And we always wonder, what is it that is their real motive? Will there be proper accountability? Will it have an impact? And you all have your own criteria as well that you apply. I challenge each of you to find any of those criteria that are not satisfied by this organization. It will certainly, I know firsthand that there will be proper accountability. I know that it will have impact. And I've demonstrated that trust by using some of what has been available to me through my discretionary money. I ask that if it's in your hearts and you have some remaining, that you consider that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Williams.
Ms. Antone? And Ms. Antone is speaking regarding Resolution 35670.
Hello. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not going to scream today. I'm a transplant from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, but I've been down in Mobile for a long time. Oh, Irene Antone, 2202 Clinton Street, Mobile, Alabama, 36617. Okay, I've been here for a long time, and I really don't remember when the Avenues Library was there. It was a branch of Ben May, but later on it was away from the city, and a lady named Miss Deeds were in charge of it, and it was supposed to be a museum. Okay, she retired or left, and now I see it that we are trying to get it back some kind of way for our property as cultural venue. Why would you say cultural venue when you can just say a museum? And that would draw more people than just being a cultural venue. I would pass by it and wouldn't pay any attention to it. But you have stuff in there that you all don't know anything about because you're the city and it was not your property in the beginning. When she left, it was just left. And now we are the county and you all is going to rent it for a cultural venue. So why don't you just say museum? Question?
She asking the wrong person. They calling it that, not us. We didn't ask
Mrs. Antone.
Yes, sir.
That's some verbiage used for the purpose of this 50-year lease agreement. Exactly how the space is going to be used will involve the community, but that'll be a discussion led by Commissioner Merceria Ludgood.
Oh, that's in the county, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
But thank you for your interest. Our goal is to make certain that the building is vital, that the building is utilized properly, and the commissioner will be working with my office and the administration and anyone else who's interested and making certain that the space is used appropriately. She's got some great plans, and she's going to need some great resources to go with those plans, which is why we're turning it over to her.
To them, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir, thank you.
Thank you.
Resolutions held over. 01650, authorized agreement with the Alabama State Port Authority, also USA, and BAE Systems Southeast Shipyards, Alabama, that following the award of the construction contract by Alabama Department of Transportation to replace and repair Pinto Pass Bridge and payment to the city will accept the right-of-way for the bridge and access easements. 09646, reallocate monies from capital project MPO Dolphin Street to engineering fees MPO Dolphin Street, Sage Avenue to west of I-65 at Spring Hill Memorial Hospital. 09647, reallocate monies from General Fund District 7 discretionary account, General Fund account to the Public Building Department, General Fund operating account to reimburse them for paint supplies for work done at Langen Park.
One more.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and second. Any discussion? Not all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Items passed.
Consent resolutions being introduced.
No.
Right away.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Commentary.
Oh, I missed that one, I'm sorry. 47648, assent to the vacation of rights-of-way in Commandery Estates.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Item passes.
Consent resolutions being introduced for the first time, 37652 through 60664.
Motion to suspend the rules for immediate consideration of resolutions 37652 through 60664.
Second.
Properly motion and second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
There's no objection, I'll take all of these.
Yes, ma'am.
One time. 37652, recommend approval to the ABC Board for issuance of a restaurant retail liquor license for Mug Shots Grill and Bar on Airport Boulevard. 37653, recommend approval to the ABC Board for issuance of a lounge retail liquor Class 2 package store license for DIP Package Store on Dolphin Island Parkway. 37654, recommend approval to the ABC Board for issuance of a retail beer, table wine, off-premises only license for DIP Food Mart on Dolphin Island Parkway. 4655, declare the structure at 2063 Kentwood Lane a public nuisance and order it demolished. 4656, declare the structure at 1214 Satchel Street a public nuisance and order it demolished. 4657, declare the structure at 513 Euchre Street a public nuisance and order it demolished. 60658, 659, 660, 661, and 662, 663, and 664, or determining expenditures of discretionary funds for contributions to Shackle Free Marketing and Associates, the Child Advocacy Center, the Muir Woods Property Owners Association, the Blessing Angels Gifting Tree, the Penelope House, and the Southwest Mobile County Chamber of Commerce serves public purpose in order of, and approve payment.
So moved.
Properly motion and second. Any discussion? Just want to remind council members we have this week to get these items turned in for next week's agenda or to get it turned over into our capital budget for next year. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Items passed.
Resolutions being introduced for the first time, 01665 through 37671.
By council rules, these resolutions will lay over for 1 week.
Announcements. We would like to announce that the October 2nd meeting is canceled due to lack of quorum, and we will have our regular scheduled meeting on October 9th.
And we will have a lack of quorum, but it'll be because those who aren't here are on city business. So they are working for the citizens of the city of Mobile. Mr. Williams?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've been approached several times during this process of budgeting and asking if our meetings are public. And I will simply say that every meeting that takes place between a majority of council members is public, including our 9 o'clock every Tuesday morning meeting on the 9th floor. It's where a lot of work gets done. It is not open for discussions, but occasionally we ask for someone who is present to make us a little smarter. But it is at 9 o'clock every Tuesday morning, almost without fail, that we meet and discuss the agenda that we vote on here at 10:30. So please know that you're welcome. We'd love to have you. And it's always open to the public. Speaking of which, today at 2 o'clock, Finance Committee meeting, we will be talking about the details of this year's budget that we are considering. That is the fiscal year 2019. Thank you.
Mr. Richardson?
Yes. Thank you very much. I would like to announce, first of all, that my Tobinville community meeting will be held Thursday, September the 20th, starting at 6 o'clock at the Tobinville Library. We're going to have a number of people there representing their companies, talking about jobs. It's going to be heading a program. I will be talking about the CIP program for Tobinville, and have announcements about venues that's coming. We're going to have the police department, the chief of police is coming to talk about an initiative that he is launching. And then we're going to have the captain from the 3rd precinct to come to talk about crime and strategy that the citizens can use. And then there will be a time for the citizens to speak their mind and say what they want to say. I'm going to ask the mayor to send someone there to address issues of blight. And at all my meetings, there are people there with issues pertaining to blight. Whether it's overgrown lots, junk cars, dilapidated houses, litter, there will be someone there to talk about that. And the best that I can tell them is that it's beyond my purview of authority. I don't have no authority over blight. It is administrative in nature. So I hope someone is there from administration for that. Then we're going to have a District 1 job fair at the Dumas Western Center, 126 Mobile Street. That's going to take place on Tuesday, October 9th from 5:30 to 7 o'clock. And we're going to have a number of businesses in the building. Airbus, Ulster, and many others going to be there talking about jobs and needing employees. And we're going to have Walmart Distribution Center, just many others will be there. And those people seeking a job and like to have a job, I'm asking you to come out and apply and get you one of those good jobs. It's one thing for you to say, I don't have no transportation to go all the way over to Ulster. Also, I don't have no transportation to go to Theodore or way out I-10 to apply. It's another thing when they're going to come in your neighborhood, in your community and in your neighborhood, and offer these same opportunities. So I'm going to ask you to prepare now to join us on October the 9th from 5:30 to 7:30 and come and try and get you a real good job. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Richardson. Mrs. Gregory.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a couple of announcements. I have 2 district meetings coming up. The first will be at the Mobile Botanical Gardens on October 22nd. Again, this will be a district meeting. We will start at 6 o'clock p.m. We will send out postcards as the time gets closer and announce all of the guests. But initially, we are discussing inviting any of the candidates who will have their names on the ballot in November, and they are part of our district or they are countywide, to attend so that they can introduce themselves and give a little bit of information about themselves to the people who come. So we'll be sending out that information as well. Then December 10th will be my annual Christmas meeting. We will again be at the Mobile Museum of Art, and we will again, of course, recognize all of our first responders and community action groups, neighborhood associations, and hopefully we will have some entertainment like we did last year with the Mary B. Austin Singers. They were terrific, so we will be checking with them on their schedule again this year. So thank you so much, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Small?
Thank you, Vice President Manzi. I would like to piggyback on what our mayor has spoke about earlier, and that was the Gulf Coast Challenge. He mentioned about the game on this coming Saturday. Many times I run into many residents throughout the city of Mobile, and they always state that it's nothing to do in the city of Mobile too much. Well, this week we have plenty to do in the city of Mobile. Starting on tomorrow, there will be the Gulf Coast College Fair that will be held at the Renaissance Riverview Hotel starting at 9:00 a.m. Again, that is the Gulf Coast Classic College Fair. Career Fair. Also tomorrow will be the Gulf Coast Classic Challenge Kickoff Concert in Cathedral Park, featuring DJ Ross Ski, the Buddy James Band, the Jukebox Brass Band, and most important, what many people will be coming out tomorrow for, is Dougie Fresh. And again, this concert is a free concert for the community. Again, this will be on tomorrow evening starting at 5:00 p.m. at the Cathedral Square. Also on Thursday, there will be the Gulf Coast Challenge Business Network Luncheon at the Renaissance Hotel at 11:00 a.m., followed by Thursday evening, the Gulf Coast Pep Rally, which will be at 6:00 at the Renaissance Plaza Courtyard. And again, this will be a pep rally between Southern and also Alabama A&M. On Friday, there will be the a golf tournament at the Heron Lakes Country Club, also followed by a hip-hop concert on Friday night featuring Pals. And also on Saturday, there will be a Gulf Coast Classic Mardi Gras Parade starting at 9:00 a.m., parading through the north side of downtown area, and then of course the tailgate, and also the game at 4:00 p.m. Inviting all the citizens throughout the area to please come and support activities going on in the city of Mobile this week. Also, I'd like to piggyback behind Councilman Richardson. I have received many phone calls within the past week about overgrown grass. Again, overgrown grass blight is under the purview of the administration. By calling us, we will mind accepting your phone calls, but we have to do the same thing that we're telling you to do, and that is to dial 311. And if you cannot dial 311 from your phone, dial 208-5311. Again, any type of overgrown grass blight that is affecting the community that you're living in, or our community, or in the parts of the city, please report it to 311 or dial 208-5311. Thank you, Vice President Manzi.
Mr. Davis?
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. As Councilman Williams mentioned, there will be a meeting of the Finance Committee today. This will be a working session. Consequently, we will not be taking public comment. This is an opportunity for council persons to ask questions of the administration with respect to certain items on the budget and to float ideas for changes to the budget. I also will be having a district meeting soon, October 23rd. It'll be at 6:00 p.m. Westminster Presbyterian Church at the corner of Airport Boulevard and Sage Avenue. I hope to have the mayor, Public Safety Director Barber, Public Services Director Peavy there. We will also look at the results of the survey I did across the district for capital improvement plan items. I sent a card requesting input to every household in the district. We've now tabulated all that information, and we'll be reviewing it at that meeting. Thank you, Mr. Vice President.
Thank you, Mr. Davis and Mr. Small. Mrs. Rich?
Thank you. Also, I'd like to announce a date for a District 6 community meeting, and it will be November 15th at the Connie Hudson Senior Center. It will start at 6:30. I've invited public safety, and I will get that information to their offices for an update on any initiatives or things of interest to the community when it comes to public safety. I'll also invite Alabama Urban Forestry Association, Mr. Knapp, who has been working with my office to make beautification improvements to the Grelot Road medians. I get a lot of complaints about those dirt piles along that street, and we'd like to upgrade them. In last year's discretionary funds, I put aside $25K, and there'll be additional funds coming next week to also augment that project. We will work with volunteers, so I'll be calling on people to help with that. And also, I appreciate urban forestry within our city department also helping with this beautification project. It will be very well received, and we will use the funds until they run out, and then we'll keep going from there. But we'll get drawings and plans, and I hope that some will be ready for that November 15th meeting. And also, I just would like to also to the Jewish community, last week was the beginning of the new year. Tonight will begin the holiest of all holidays, Yom Kippur, and I wish them a good fast and a very, very happy new year. Thank you.
For your announcements and our activity all across the city, as mentioned by Mr. Small, this is Gulf Coast Challenge Week. There are a litany of activities going on. I'll be speaking at the President's reception and at the alumni reception, and I'm letting my moderator of my local Baptist Association know that I also will be attending the Plies concert. Just putting it out there.
In addition,
Yes,
with the safety.
Hold it, Ms. Antone. Hold it. It's my time. Hold it, Ms. Antone. I just want to invite all of our citizens. Let's really support this Gulf Coast Challenge. They've got something going on that would suit each and every person in this community. And so let's take advantage of it, really wrap our arms around it. It'll be at Ladd Stadium, I believe, starting at 4 o'clock. They've really done a yeoman's job in such a short time in getting this off the ground. And I salute those who are in charge of it, and hope that this game will continue to grow and continue to flourish. We can do just like they're doing there in Birmingham with the Magic City Classic. So many of us load up in buses, going to Birmingham to participate in the Magic City Classic. You don't have to load up on a bus. It's right here in the city of Mobile at Ladd People's Stadium. So come on out and let's support it. And I look forward to seeing some of you at the concert. It's Plies. He was a local rap artist, not local, but he was real popular about 10, 12 years ago. He will be bringing his music here to the city of Mobile. I would name some of his songs, but I don't want to do that in a public meeting. But just come on out and support it. Anyway, Madam City Clerk.
And I would just like to say, I hope that everyone comes out to hear the Human Jukebox of Southern University marching band. I am a Southern Jaguar, and we will have on our blue and gold. We will be present, and we will be waving a championship flag at the end of the night.
I heard that.
Human Jukebox.
All right. All right, wonderful. Yeah. Any other announcements for the administration?
Yeah, I think we just need to go ahead and call the Ladd the historic Ladd Stadium.
That's right.
Yeah, the historic Ladd Stadium.
Historic Ladd Stadium. I'm all for it. I'm all. Any announcements from the administration? Is there a second? Probably motion and second. Any discussion? No. All in favor? Meeting adjourned.
This is